So there's a lot of talk about this cheap iPhone 5C and why Apple are even bothering doing it. Well, the iPhone itself is a premium handset and it has a premium price tag, and that means a lot of people can't actually afford it, even if they want to be with Apple and enjoy the ecosystem. So a cheaper iPhone would be great. It would allow Apple to tap into the growing middle and low-end mobile market, opening up a whole new consumer base for them and therefore making them more money.
The iPhone 5C is going to be a very interesting proposition because we don't know exactly how Apple's going to play it. You could imagine that it's a smaller device with a plastic shell and maybe a smaller screen, so you see something like the iPhone 4S rebadged and retooled to be a little bit cheaper. So you won't have quite the pixel density, you may not have the same processor speed, but what that will allow Apple to do is to play in the kind of the mid-range market. So it'll take on the S4 Mini, the HTC One Mini, and really give consumers another choice where they don't want to spend as much money as the iPhone, but don't have to get the really budget options on offer.
I think we're going to see a bit more colour from Apple. I think they really want to make it clear that you can buy a budget phone that has a bit of personality. We saw it with the iPods. They really went after colour. You know, it wasn't just the black or white versions at the beginning. They began to realise that people wanted a little bit of primary colour. So I'd expect to see similar kinds of colour ranges as you'll get in the iPod Nanos, things like that.
When it comes to specs on the iPhone 5C, Apple is going to have to obviously dial it down a little bit. So we'll take maybe the A5 chip from the iPhone 4S. It'll probably keep the same screen size as that, and also offer maybe a little bit of an uprated GPU and a larger battery. So those things are really important to consumers, the chance to have a longer battery life, and that won't add to the cost of the phone too much. So it'll still look, for all intents and purposes, like a really good iPhone. It'll give consumers something new to buy, which is more important than saying, I'll have the iPhone 4 or 4S, which is, 3 years ago tech. And it'll basically take the same components and package them up in a way that makes people feel really excited about their Apple product without breaking the bank.
We're currently expecting Apple to unveil the iPhone 5S on September the 10th, and we're also thinking it might roll out the iPhone 5C, its cheaper iPhone, at the same time. And going on previous Apple cycles, we'd expect that if it does do that, the iPhone 5C will be available 2 weeks later, so you'll be able to get your hands on it in the last week of September.
For me, the iPhone 5C is a unique proposition. Traditionally, Apple releases a newer iPhone, then the older model becomes their cheaper handset. So with the iPhone 5C coming in, that's going to mix it up a little bit. So where will it stand? Where will the iPhone 5C be? Will it be underneath the iPhone 5 when it's released, or just a bit above it? That's really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from now on.